Now, there are three prime ways we have of processing information. Now, this is what I call the three different languages. So even though I'm speaking English, there are three different nuances to it. I can do it in a head way, all about numbers, figures, process, analysis. I can do it in an emotive way. It's all about the bigger picture. It's about the colours, the ambience, the atmosphere, the flavours, the relationships, the personalities. Or I can just do it in a die-hard, gut instinctive way. Just do it. Does that make sense? Now, the truth is we all use all three. We just have preferences. So let's take an archetype thinker, feeler, and an intuitive person. The three of them. They're going to a restaurant. Here's the menu. Actually, this is the handout. You'll be getting one of these each later on. But you're going to the restaurant. The three of them go up to the restaurant. The thinker, if they haven't done the research already online, is probably going up to the menu outside and they're going to start analysing the menu. When they get inside, they're going to open the menu up and they're going to open it up and they're going to start analysing it, doing a cost-benefit analysis. It's how many ounces of steak I'm going to get from a pound, the specific gravities, the percentages alcohol in the wines, what's the bill going to come to, how much out of pocket am I going to be? Analysis, analysis, analysis. Make sense? The feeler goes in, they look at the menu, they think, oh, it's all too much, and then actually they see a friend across, and they immediately go over there, and it's in a deep conversation. The waiter or the waitress has come up to the table, they're never at the table, they come back, they look at it, oh, that looks good. The instinctive person, the gut person, if they bothered looking at it, they look at the steak. Now, the truth is we all use all three. Yeah? We just have a preference. So ask yourself the question, what is my primary preference, my primary way of processing? Do I do it in a blue thinking, cognitive way? Do I do it in the heartfelt, emotive, energetic way? Or do I do it in a gut instinctive way? So there's the thinking way, feeling way, and the instinctive way. Question, what's your preference? Choose one. Has everybody chosen? Which way is their preference? Yeah? So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to move to the station. There's 6 chairs, 3 down each side. If you primarily choose the blue thinking way, come to the front of the room. If you primarily use the gut instinctive way, go to the back of the room. And the heartfelt feeling people go to the middle of the room, and you should be around one of the chairs. So, extroverted thinkers here. So you're having problems choosing what your primary is? No? Are you in the middle, in the feeling space? Yeah? So were you on the extroverted side or the introverted side? So if you go over to so the extroverted feel there, the introverted feel there. So were you we had the internal, external, and then primarily when you get presented with something, do you do it in a logical, methodical way? Bit of both? Yeah? And again, sometimes you don't have enough data. Use that to fill in the gap. Uh-huh. And sometimes these domains can be quite close. Sometimes it's so off the scale, it's just obvious. Sometimes it can be very nuanced and in the middle. And I've developed an algorithm and a system that actually finds out what the scores are and the percentages. Sometimes you can have somebody at 60%, 30-10, or it could be a third, a third, a third.
Depends on your experience, doesn't it? Because if it's something new, you need to think about a lot. If it's something you're very experienced about, then you can allow your gut feel or just your emotional feel, because you've got the years of experience of
And that's a good point. Because what is that gut processing? If I say to you all, what's 2 times 2? Come on. What's 3 times 3? What's 4 times 4? 5 times 5? That's been hardwired, hasn't it? What's 19 times 27? Now, if you want to throw an instinctive person when they go to the restaurant, take it off the menu and watch them get flustered. Oh! See, when you get used to something, boom, boom, we process it real quick. If you want to have fun with kids, do that 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. And you'd be walking down the street with them. Hey, I did this with my son when he was 8 years old, down the street. And then I said to him, oh, it was 27 times 19. He just stopped. Because what happens? Thinking takes energy. Just remember that. 19 times 27 is 513. There are some people that learn a 27 times table. No, there are. There are. So some people can actually become instinctive with information that other people find difficult. Does that make sense? Now, interestingly enough, we have an exuberant number of extroverted, instinctive people in the room. My prediction, well, here's the wheel, some of the modelling. This is where we're sitting. Now we've moved, getting ahead of ourselves. This was my prediction for a room of 42. So there should only be 3 or 4 of you up there. Have a lone maverick. My favourite. But statistically, it's about 2 to 1. So if you have, 5 there, 2 or 3 here, it generally works out like that. Now, why would there be a whole slew of extroverted, instinctive people in the room?
Is it because of context? Or always misses?
No. Because there are character traits associated with these. No, extroverted, instinctive people like to run their own things, like to run their own businesses. So we've probably got a heavy entrepreneurial streak in the room. Is that making sense? I quite often use this in vision workshops. You can actually tap into who's going to be the best people for the strategy, who's going to be the best people for building the culture, who's going to be the best people for driving things. So that's part of the story. How do you each fully see the world? Now you're going to find this really difficult. Because I'm going to ask you, which one do you use least? So choose one. So extroverted, then just choose. You're between think and feel right now. So use feel least. So that would be think and go would be your primary, yeah?